Hey guys, this is Rick from DFSOnDemand.com, and this is your preview for the Open Championship. All right, the Open Championship, otherwise known as the British Open for usually us guys here in the States, but this is the third major of the year. It will be held at Royal Troon. It's going to play 7,100 yards, and it's a par 71, so one more par 4 than you would normally expect on the standard par 72, which makes those guys who are scoring well on par 4s a little more valuable this week. Zach Johnson, your defending champion, and it is, of course, going to be a very deep field. 84 of the top 85 golfers in the official World Golf Rankings are playing this week, and with it being a rotating course, we don't have a lot of course history, although the Open Championship does tend to get played at similar style links courses, so there is some precedence, but not a true course history for this week. There are some absolute heavyweights at the top of this pricing list, but I think Adam Scott is worth an even deeper look for this week. He's 10,600, and he's having an excellent season. He's fourth in scoring average on tour. He's first in shots gained tee to green. He's absolutely scorching right now. Last 10 events, you can see he's piled up 6 top 25s, 4 top 10s, including 2 wins. And he has one of the best records here at the Open Championship. In his last 4 Open Championships, he has 4 top 10s, 3 top 5s, including a second place and a tie for third. He's just a really solid player when it comes to this event. He's made the cut in 11 of 12, so it feels like a really chalky cash game play, a guy who's probably going to be very solid and return you plenty of points for this week. Now, in the same pricing tier, I'm looking at Sergio Garcia as more of a GPP contrarian play. He's priced at $10,000, and he is historically under-owned. For whatever reason, the general public just doesn't really like this guy as a person, I believe. So I believe his ownership is always a little bit lower than what you'd expect it to be, especially in a week of a major where you're going to have a lot of newcomers, a lot of casual golf fans. They're going to be thinking back to that Sergio of old, that Sergio that they don't like, that battled Tiger Woods, the Sergio that said himself that he probably cannot win a major. I think that drives his ownership down when you're dealing with the general public. What people don't realize is Sergio is having an unbelievable season. He's solid in all stat categories. He's 12th in total shots gained, and he's absolutely scorching right now. 4 top 5s in his last 4 events, and he's played the Open Championship 19 times. He's got 9 top 10s, and in the last 2 years, he's piled on a T6 and a T2. So just a really good opportunity to get a guy who I believe is probably going to be under-owned. All right, if you watch this series of videos, you know that I've talked about Marc Leishman in the past, and I'm going to double down on him again this week. The price is really good at $7,400. Yes, he's coming off a poor showing. Excuse me, I think he finished, 50th last week, where he just he made the cut, but he floundered around after that and just never really showed up. Was a little bit of a disappointment. But this is a guy who still has 3 top 20s in his last 5 events worldwide. And remember, the last 2 years at the Open Championship, he's been excellent. T5 2 years ago, and he lost in a playoff to Zach Johnson last year. So I think Leishman is a guy who we can buy back in with a little bit of lower ownership and still continues to be at a good price. All right, and I'll try to find you one more value play here, and it's Andy Sullivan at $7,200. Here's a guy who, again, primarily plays on the European Tour. Those are the type of guys who, in theory, would be used to this type of weather, would be used to the conditions and the style of golf that is going to be played this week. And Andy Sullivan is playing really, really well right now. 5 straight top 25s worldwide. His last 2 events, he's tacked on a tie for 5th and a tie for 6th. He's made 12 of 16 cuts, so he's probably not going to kill you. And he's played the Open Championship once, which was last year, in which he finished in a tie for 30th. So a really, solid option, a guy who's playing well right now, who's going to be used to the conditions and style of play that we're going to see this week. All right, that's it for me. If you like this video, do me a favor and click the thumbs up button below, and I'll keep making them. Good luck.